What's up guys, it's Ben and Parts here. Welcome back to yet another episode of this Cryptidcast series where we break down cryptids, their sightings, their possibilities, what they could or couldn't be and if they could be real or not. And today we have the Roperite, an absolutely fascinating cryptid where just enough information makes you think it could be real, and then just enough makes you feel like you're losing your mind when you read it. It's one of my Lumberjack cryptids, one of my favourite kind of cryptids, the ones that were reported from the logging era in the 18th, 19th and 20th centuries of America, and are occasionally still reported today. Although many people now say that this creature is extinct. And to be honest, if it is extinct, I would not be sad to see the back of it, because the Roperite, despite being described as gregarious and about the size of a small pony, and despite having existed in herds in the Sierra foothills in California, was not a creature you wanted to mess with. Not because it preyed on humans per se, but because of its absolutely deadly nature. The Roperite was extremely active and fast, and at the same time it had leathery skin, which gave it complete protection against rocks, thorns and obstacles. But at the same time, it had flipper-like legs that were overdeveloped, so it had a half-bounding, half-flying gait, as described in Henry H. Trion's book Fearsome Critters. So, in other words, not only could this creature not be hunted easily because it had impervious skin, but also it could move incredibly fast. So if you shot at it or threw something at it, it wouldn't be harmed. And if you tried to chase it, it could easily outrun you. But it does not just use this speed to engage in running away from things. No, it uses this speed to go after things. Which is strange, you might think. How do we know this? Because the Roperite is so mysterious that many people don't even know whether it's bipedal or quadrupedal, whether it's a fish, a bird, or some kind of creature, whether they lay eggs, whether they give birth to young that are born young or emerge as adults from caves. However, we do know one thing about it. It has an astounding lasso-like beak. Yes, the Roperite has this long beak like a lasso that it can use to chase down prey and lasso them until they die. Yes, it grabs the prey in the lasso and then it drags them over rocks until they're dead. This is an incredibly painful way of dying. So although the Roperite is described as gregarious, I wonder how gregarious it is when you're being dragged across rocks and killed. And I say you because mostly the Roperite is known to go for jackrabbits, and I assume it goes for other small animals too, but from what I've seen of it, it absolutely does go for humans, because it's mentioned that lumberjacks can sometimes be ensnared by the Roperite and dragged along. I'm not sure if it eats these lumberjacks or if it's done intentionally and then it lets them go, but I have a feeling that if people are lassoed, even if it's not the intention, it eats them anyway, because it's said that no one can get away from this creature. No one can get away from the Roperite. It's incredibly fast, it's tough, it's got great dexterity, it lassos you like a rope, and then that is the absolute end of you, because it drags you over the rocks, and the sources also mention it drags you over thorn bushes until you're dead, which is very ominous stuff indeed. And furthermore, the Roperite will let you know it's in the area because it has a rattle on its tail, which makes it sound very much like a rattlesnake. And this is also a part of the Roperite that's kind of terrifying, because it will use that rattle to intimidate you. So you're being chased by this creature that looks like some kind of fish or bird or none of these, while it's with its lasso, while it's rattling at you like a rattlesnake. No wonder people say people can't escape. I feel like half the people who are being chased by this thing would fall down in terror and die. I certainly hope we never see it again, and if indeed it is real, I'm not saying that I want it to be extinct, but let's just say I like rabbits, and let's just say I like not being eaten, so I would prefer it if the Roperite maybe did not exist. But what do you guys think? Do any of you have any old logging relatives who can tell of this? Anyone who settled in the frontiers and knew of these stories? Anyone who's passed on an urban legend to you? Please let me know in the comment section below. I get quite a few comments like this and they're always interesting. And next time on this podcast, I have decided that I will do another Lumberjack cryptid, which I overwhelmingly focus on these days. And I've decided I'm going to pick the Rumtifusel, which is another whole rabbit hole in and of itself. Let me know if you think I should pick anything else, anything from your traditions or your culture that I may not have heard of, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.